Hi everyone, it's Pierre speaking. It is Tuesday morning, it's about 10 o'clock GMT time, 27th of September 2011. Guys, today I flew a guy in from London. He's living in Wales. His name is Richard. You guys will know him as Richie in the forum. Good morning, Richie.
Good morning, Pierre.
How are you, mate?
Yeah, I'm good, mate. I'm good. Just wanted to say thank you very much for the invitation onto your little blog. It's a big honour for me to do this. Also wanted to take the opportunity to say thanks to Mark, Dean, Vasilis and yourself just for your contributions to the forum and the FMP website. It's a fantastic resource and you should all be congratulated for that. So well done.
You're welcome, mate. You're welcome. I'll send the check for you in the post. No,
Sure
Richard, it's nice. It's nice when I see people are using our forum and our blogs and they're doing well. Richard, obviously you've been trading for a while. Mate, I'm not going to ask you questions. Obviously you're trading the STT system with a little bit of my system with it, just for confirmation. It looks like sometimes. The floor is yours, mate. I want you to tell me where you started with your 15-minute charts, where you are now with your trading. How do you get your entry points? I'm very interested in your 50 minutes entry areas if you get into Dean's zone or in my zone. So the floor is yours, mate.
Okay, cheers, Pierre. Well, for everyone, I've been trading currencies for about 4 years, since June 2007. Started off on the 5-minute charts, basically trading the London session. In the early days, trading those 5-minute charts, it was, my main weakness really was over trading, and those 5-minute charts allow you to do that. You're chasing price, you're following price, you're glued to the screen, and the 5-minute charts make it very, very easy to overtrade. Also, I got sucked into revenge trading, but I did have a method. I had a discipline, but I found that trading on the 5-minute chart, it was I just really had to test my discipline and patience every single day, and I used to psych myself up in the evening, get ready for the next day, and just say, right, I'm gonna make a load of money today, and it just became an obsession really. So. Well, anyway, I joined FMP the end of 2009, I think it was. Started looking at the M1 strategy. I think at that point it was doing quite well, so I moved from the 5-minute charts to the 15-minute charts, trading the breakouts. But I still found as though I was glued to the screen. And it wasn't till I started following you, mate, in I think it was kind of last year, August, September of last year. I started following you and started to try and change my mindset from, the smaller time frames, dipping in, dipping out, to actually planning a trade and trading the plan on the 4-hour and the 1-hour charts. So yeah, that was my. I'll tell you a story, Pierre. When I was trading the 5-minute charts, there was one story where I entered a trade at about 6:15 in the morning. I was desperate to get to work, entered the trade. And I was driving, I was late for work anyway. I was in my car driving. I was just following price on my phone. It was absolute madness. I'm just chasing 5 pips, 10 pips. Come on, is it going to drop? Is it going to drop? And I'm just, I'm driving in traffic in London, and I'm on my phone.
Yeah,
and
that's ridiculous.
That was the reality check for me. I just thought this is not doing me any good. Is my life worth 20 pips? It certainly ain't, mate.
Yeah. Guys, for the new members out there, if that happens, you're in trouble. Okay. I see there's a couple of guys in the forum. I can see you on the wrong track there, guys. If Forex needs to be a balance in your life, if it takes your life over, then you're in big trouble. And there, Richie just showed you that. Okay, Rich.
Yeah, well, so I started following you on the forum, obviously trading your Earth and Sky. At the same time, I think Dean's STT came out, and I could never really grasp Mark's M2. For me, it was more of a philosophy than a trading system as such, and I didn't really understand the rules to it. But by following yourself and then Dean, it's easy to identify the trend. If you can't identify a trend, you can't trade the pair. You're waiting for the pullback. Dean's waiting for a smaller pullback than you are, generally. You would normally say that Dean's pullbacks into his EMA zone are the 38.2 fib. is what I would say. And obviously you're looking for that 61.8 sweet spot.
Yeah,
shall I say.
anything from 50%, as long as it hits that 50%, I'm happy.
You're happy with it, yeah, yeah. My money management, I risk 4% on each trade. Why do I risk 4%? Well, because I'm only trading very high probability trades, so I'm comfortable with the fact that I can risk a little bit more.
No, and you're also waiting for a very long time for those trades. I mean, you maybe will take 1 or 2 trades tops per week. So yeah, I can understand that.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. I mean, if this month I've taken 2 trades, and we're at the end of the month, and I've taken 2 trades, and that is it. And that is a stark contrast from when I started. 5-minute charts, I was trading, up to 10, entering and up to 10 positions a day. The 15-minute charts, okay, it was more like 10 positions a week. And then, following your Earth and Sky and STT, STT, I can be as patient as I need to be because I know that at some stage there'll be a trade coming my way.
Richard, will you say that was probably the most difficult part of your trading, is to get that patience going?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. I think it's the mindset, Pierre. You've really got to switch off from, trying to get 20 pips, 15 pips, whatever. You've just got to switch off and say, right, certainly for STT, I'm just going to look at the screen once every 4 hours. Once I've entered a trade, I'm going to switch it off. I'm going to set all my alerts. I set up my text alerts, so if price gets to a certain level, it sends me a text message. And I'm just going to trust and believe in the system. I'm not going to be watching the chart, because I know if I watch the chart, it'll mess up my risk reward. It'll mess up my whole system. So I've just got to believe in the system, which I do. I've got complete faith in it, and I just I'm relaxed about it. I'm not obsessed anymore. If I get stopped out,
keep it simple. Keep it simple, I say.
Absolutely.
Okay, absolutely. Richard, we're on 7 minutes here. Can you quickly, guys? This is a clip. The chart that you see now is Richard's monitor. So Richard, show us on your chart what EMAs do you use, how do you set up your charts, and your current entry that you've got, your current trade that's running.
Okay, well, you'll notice here that my Earth and Sky are not exactly your EMAs, they're Dean's EMAs, so I've got a 21 EMA and a 10 EMA.
But the principle is there, the brown under the blue and that type of thing, yeah, Earth and Sky. Okay?
Absolutely, yeah. I've got my 55 EMA there, my 34, they're the dotted ones, so because I don't really focus on your system, but I use it for clues, I'm focused on these lines, so my eye is always drawn to those 2 EMAs as opposed to those 2 EMAs. Obviously, I've got the 200 EMA off the 4 hour. I've also got the daily 200 EMA. I've got my monthly supports and resistance levels. These little lines here are my weekly resistance and supports. If I drop down to a 1 hour or a 30-minute, I've got my daily.
That's your pivot points. Your pivot point areas, eh?
Yeah, my pivot points.
Did you use pivot points before, or did you only started to use it later?
I started to use it. When did I start to use it? I think it was probably with you, actually. Yeah, I downloaded my first pivot indicator, and away you go. I mean, it's amazing. It is a bit of voodoo, but it's amazing how it does work.
What I find is that it gives you a roadmap. If you just had a blank chart in front of you and price stop at certain areas, you've got no idea. And once you put those pivot levels, it all's clear. There's a roadmap for you for the whole week. Yeah.
I also use the Richie indicator, which is obviously the Les's indicator, because he made it for me. I mean, I think he took the signal bar, and I asked him on a PM on the forum. I said, I need to use this for Pierre's system and for Dean's system. Can you set it up for me? And there it is, and it's a great visual. I can flick through all the pairs, and I know, on the daily and the 4 hour, I know that your trend is trending down for the pound, so I know I'm good to go short pound. The other thing I use is for confluence, or to add to the jigsaw, is the indexes, is the indices, so the dollar and the euro indices. And at the moment, I know that I can go long dollar and I can go short euro, and it makes it very easy to then screen out some of the potential pairs that you might want to be sucked into trading.
Did you use the indexes before?
No, didn't. No. I started using the Euro index, I think when you posted a chart, and I thought, he's onto something there. So I started using it. But I just use it religiously as part of my weekly analysis.
Yeah, I see.
First thing I'll do is look.
more and more guys starting to use it. It's part of the jigsaw, as Richie said. I see Mary is heavy into it. She uses it like a Bible. So yeah, it's definitely working.
Yeah, that's a good thing for me as well. Is confirmation that other people are using the same tools. Mary's been following you for some time as well, probably a similar time as myself. And yeah, you just learn the lesson, don't you?
Yeah. I know she's trading a different system. She is not posting it in the forum because obviously we don't want to confuse members, but she uses a bit of Earth and Sky, a bit of STT trades, but mainly her own system. But that's the whole thing, guys. The more comfortable you get with trading, the more you will start to blend different systems, and it's working. Okay, Rich, we've got 10 minutes, so you need to run with us on this chart, mate.
Okay, well, no worries. This is a trade I took. I'm in at the moment still. This is the pound dollar, and I took it based on an STT trade. It was just a straightforward 4-hour setup. So, price did bounce along a little bit. There was a nice support level here, but price pulled back into the EMA zone, and I took it on the close of the candle. I think it was just below the 1.60 level, which for me was a biggie level.
Did you take this trade only off the 4-hour chart, or did you drop down to the 30-minute and took it off trend line break there, or just purely candle formation? Yeah,
it was purely candle formation. You can see there that there is the 30. That's my 30-minute trend line break. If I drop down to that level, and I find price is down here somewhere. Let me find it for you.
And you said to me yesterday when we lost the voice from your side that this is a demo account that you're doing your homework on. Most of your work, you look at the indexes at Admiral Markets, but your homework is done on, I can't read it, what platform?
I use, I do my homework on FXDD, and the reason I do that is because Dean's, it's the same closing at time as Dean's system, so I follow Dean, and it's nice to have my daily candle closing. Yeah, I can't find it, Pierre, but sorry about that. But basically sometimes I'll drop down to the 30-minute chart and I'll look for a 2110 cross. I'll look for the trend line break as well, and sometimes those just add confirmation to my 4-hour candle. Sometimes I'll get into my 4-hour candle before the trend line break and the 2110 cross. So I do. It's no.
But it's
no
a feeling, Richard. Trading is also very much about a feeling. Some of the new guys probably out there will think I'm talking absolutely bull, because they entered trades and lose on trades because they had a feeling for it. Guys, you only start to get a feeling for the market after you trade for about 5 years. Before that, that is just emotions. After that, then it starts to become a feeling for the market.
And you get to know your system. Look at this, right? We've got the 55 EMA, price bounced off it. You've got your monthly S1, price bounced off it. It closed as a bearish pin. If you're not going to take that trade, you'll never take a trade. So I don't need to wait for confirmation on that one, because for me that's enough. Now what I was worried about was this support level here, and it, in fact price broke it and pulled back and closed above it, so I'm thinking, okay, what am I going to do here? But
were you at break even at that level already?
No, I didn't. I didn't move my stop to break even on that one. I just let it run, and then obviously my money management allows me to take, I think I had about 100 pips stop loss on this one. So when it got to 200 pips, I think it was on that candle or down here, I took half off, so at least I've covered my initial risk, if you see what I mean.
Yeah.
So it means that if I do get stopped out of break even on this trade, my next trade is almost a risk-free trade, if you see what I mean. And it allows me to build on it. I just entered it on the close. It closed below the 1.60 level, and I then drew in this trend line. So we've got a bearish trend line, and it bounced around it here, it bounced off it here, it's pulled back and it's actually closed above it, but we're in your zone, mate, so that's where the two systems work, so if I hadn't known your zone, your system, I probably would have closed it out there, but
as I said earlier today in the block, I'm a little bit worried. We might go back to those 200 EMAs, but we need to break that 76.5 area. If we break that, then definitely. So Richard, you're still in this trade, hey? You took half off and half is still in, and at what pip wise? How many pips did you make?
Well, the bad news is, in hindsight, 660 odd. Now it's 440, and it's a 50-50 trade at the moment. But my stop is trailed up to here, so I think I'm 15753. So again, there's another. What have we got here? 237 locked in. So I've made 2 to 1 on the trade anyway, locked in. So and that's good for me. That's what I need to look at. Now, what I was hoping for was a drop down to 1.50, which would mean no trading for me next month. But we shall see.
Richard, you're a full-time trader now.
Well, you got to define full time. Is it checking the charts every 4 hours? Or,
Yeah, but that's your main job. I mean, you don't have another job where you. Although it seems your wife is your boss and your kids are your boss, like mine. So yeah, then you.
yeah, absolutely. I mean, interestingly, I've one of the things I found with trading STT was I just had a lot of spare time on my hands because it is so routine that you check the charts every 4 hours and that's it. Okay, sometimes you look at them, the 30-minute trendline break or whatever, so you do spend a bit of time. But on the whole, my life revolves around 6 a.m., 10 a.m., 2 p.m., 6 p.m., which is where I need to be at my charts.
Yeah, so you basically can say you got your life back, because when you trade 15 minutes, 5 minutes, then there is just no life.
Yeah, and the great thing about STT, and I would recommend this system for any new starter, get themselves a little live account, go through Dean's videos. No disrespect to you, mate, but I think Dean's system is just a great system for teaching people to trade with a trend, look for the pullback and look for the confirmation, which is the same as your system.
No problem with that, mate. As I said, I think between my system, Dean's system, Mark's system, we've got an awesome block out here. I've been to other places, other blocks, and I mean they don't offer half of what we're offering. So I think the good thing about Dean's system is you can have a day job. You can have your day job and you can also be trading as well. So it can be used as a. Would you say, Richard, just to focus on a couple of pairs when you start off with the STT? I mean, obviously you don't want to go overboard with 12 pairs. I mean, no, Dean looks like at 30 pairs, but that's a bit ridiculous for new traders. Stick to the main ones.
Stick to the majors. Your Euro USD, Euro Yen, Euro Pound, USD Yen, USD CAD. I would stick to probably about 5 or 6 because otherwise you may never get a setup, and you do need the setups to to enter the trade and feel the trade and learn from your lessons. So I mean, it's all there. It's all there for them.
Okay, Richard, we're running almost out of time. Can you said you want to show me a New Zealand dollar chart. Can you show us that?
Yeah, okay, no worries. I think Dean had this on his watch list this week, and I think obviously we've got the 2110. The trend is formed. We had a bit of a bounce there. Sometimes I like to take these aggressive STT, which is the first bounce after we've had the cross. So I think we had the cross up here. I'd like to take, sometimes if it comes in there, I'd like to take the first bounce. I didn't quite make it, and I didn't really have any confluence there to take it. But I was looking
that's now, if you look to the left of the charts, there's no previous support resistance areas and pivot points and all those. Okay, cool.
That's it. I think on the weekly chart there is, but it's where price stopped. So it's where support is at the moment on the 4-hour chart. And yeah, I was looking at a setup. In fact, off this candle here, this was a nice little bearish engulfing. But I just like Dean, I like these little pin bars. If that had been a pin bar without this pin here, I might have been in on that one. But also, we were also very close to the low there. You see, that's sometimes. I mean, I also keep my eyes on the STT with my system, and then some days I just don't feel comfortable with the level. Either too low. Like the last couple of weeks, and then I lose out. I mean, last week we had a 500 pip drop. Sorry, mate, gone. Cheerio. It didn't pull back to my zone. It pulled back to Dean's zone, took the low out, and that was history. Yeah, and I think for me as well, I like to trade when the fundamentals and the technicals are supporting each other. And I think last week we didn't get pullbacks that we wanted, but last week the technicals supported the fundamentals, which was pro-dollar. It was risk aversion, pro-dollar, whereas the start of this week it seems to be risk is back on, and that's where you've got to be very careful when you're trading. When you're trading with the dollar this week, when risk is back on, it could be bad news for the dollar. I say it could be.
If you look at the dollar index weekly chart, then we're very close to that 200 mother-in-law. So
Yeah, let me just try and get that. Let me try and get that up for you. There we go. That's the mother-in-law there, weekly.
weekly.
And we've had, look at this candle here. So that's a daily.
Is that your US dollar index?
That's my US dollar index, yeah. So the minute
Go
price
to the monthly
crossed.
for me. Can you go to a monthly?
I don't have a monthly on here.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay, guys. Then I probably looked at the monthly because there is a monthly mother-in-law in that area where we now 100 pips further up. There's a big 200 EMA lying there, and that's why I feel that that price might turn here. Dollar getting, dollar will lose strength.
But you can see that I was starting to become pro-dollar around this area, and I think that's where I probably took my trade. And
Breaking
once you start getting,
EMA,
and once you start getting, above these EMAs, you've broken the monthly resistance, and you're up here. You think, it is pro-dollar. But we've had these, last daily candle was a funny one, bit of a bearish, pin. So it's all a bit, question mark for me. I won't be trading for the rest of the week. It's my birthday tomorrow. I've got a stinking cold today, so just take the week off.
Yeah, guys. Just before I say goodbye to Richard, you guys can also see. I mean, the longer you trade with us, stay with Mark, Dean, myself. Richard, just stay with the chart quickly for me, please.
Sorry.
You guys can see that was in hindsight also a normal M2 trade. Richard, the previous one with the 200 EMA, we broke that 200 EMA. We closed on the other side, price pulled back to that 200 EMA, and it was a normal M2 trade. Can you quickly change that? Can you guys?
Yeah, I got it here, mate. So
we broke the 200 EMA, price came back to the 200 EMA, and it was a normal M2 trade. Okay, so that's why I say my system, Dean's system, Mark's system. In the end of the day, we're looking for support resistance areas. Yes, we use different systems, but it boils down to the same thing, guys. Richard, mate, thank you very much for sharing with us.
No problem.
And thank you for sharing your thoughts with us on the forum. I
No
would
worries.
like to have take this opportunity also to thank a couple of guys in the forum. Les, thanks for helping us always with our indicators. You're always out there. We know you live in Australia, so sometimes the timing, you almost go to bed and then guys ask you to fix some indicators for them, so thanks a lot for that. And then Richard, have a fantastic birthday tomorrow, mate.
Cheers, mate. Thank you very much. I'll be. I don't know if there's any rugger on tomorrow, but I'll be doing something non-Forex. That's for sure.
That's cool. That's it. That's the way of it, eh? Okay, Richard. Thanks a lot, mate. Cheers.
Okay. No worries.